Okay, welcome back. You are here with Online Panthia. Today we'll be discussing the 2017, the part 1, the section B. Okay, now before I start, I would say all that. Now, before you all check these answers, better if you all try these papers at home. Now, once you try and then after you check your answers, better have a cross check with the answers I am explaining. Okay, so to start with, I'll go on to the first question. So part 1, the B part, the first question says, a household water tank is completely filled with water. So you have a water tank that is completely filled with water. Okay. And then 1/10 of the water in the tank is used to water the garden. So I will say to water the garden, they use 1/10 of the whole tank. Okay. Okay. And then 1/4 is used for bathing. So bathing they use 1/4 from the whole tank. Now what does the first question says? It says find what fraction of the water in the tank is used for both water in the garden and for bathing. That means you have to find the total. You have to add both 1/10 plus 1/4. How do you add? Since the denominators are not same, you have to make it same. So here I multiply by 5 by 5. So I multiply this by 2. That is going to give me how much? 7/20. Okay. So before moving on to the second part, they have said of the remaining water in the tank, 4/13 is used to wash clothes. Okay. That means from the remaining water in the tank. That means from the remaining part. Now see, from the whole tank, 1/10 is used for gardening and this is used for bathing. Now this is the total that was used for both. Now so how do you find the remaining part? It's easy, right? Yes. Remaining. Yes, you have to consider the whole part as 1 and then from 1 you have to subtract 7/20. Okay, how much? Yeah, simply you can, some people by just looking at this fraction, they can give me the answer. The remaining is 13/20. That means out of 20 parts, 7 is used. So what is the balance? Altogether 13 parts. Okay, now this is the remaining. Now what are they saying? Of the remaining water in the tank, 4/13 is used for washing clothes. So for washing clothes, yes, how do we find out? 4/13 of 13/20. So you can simplify, you can cancel off this. So once you simplify by 2, you will get how much? Yes, 1/5. Now this is the portion that is used to wash clothes. Okay. Next part, Roman number 3. Now what are they asking us to do? Roman number 3. Find what fraction of the tank remains filled now. So how do you find here? They're asking you what is the balance? What is the balance portion in the tank? Now observe, this is very easy, okay? Now what you have to do is that, now you know the portion that is used for washing. Gardening also you know the portion that is used for bathing also. Now can you find the total? Yes, you can find the total amount that was used for all these purposes. Now this and this all together we have already found the total, that is 7/20. So with this portion I'll be adding 1/5. So it is going to give me 7/20 plus 1/5. How much is it? So here you got to multiply by 4. That is going to give me 11/20. Was that clear? Okay, now this is the total part. Total, as a fraction, the part that was used for gardening, bathing, and then to wash clothes. This was the used part. So what is the balance? Yes, you have to get the balance, the remaining. So how much is it? 9/20 is the balance part. Okay. Now let us move on to the last part. Before moving on to the Roman number 4, they have said a statement. What is it? When another 500 liters of water is used for kitchen requirements, 1/4 of the tank remains filled. Now this was the balance. From this, they are using how much? Yeah, once they use 500 liters, the balance they have is 1/4. So how do you say? Yes. Now see, finally after using 500 liters, they have a balance of 1/4. Okay. That means from the balance we had earlier, if you subtract this amount, yes, you should get how much? 500, no? Yes, because that was the amount it was used in liters. Therefore, I will say, earlier I had 9 over 20. From this, I have used 1 over 4th, the balance, sorry. Okay, from 9 over 20, this is the balance I have at last. The difference should give you the amount used. So, it is going to give me how much? 500 liters. So, once I simplify, how much will I get? Yes, 4 over 20, that is equal to, when you simplify, 1 over 5, that is equal to 500 liters. Now finally, out of the whole tank, one portion is equal to how much? Yes, 500 liters. Now they are asking you to find the total capacity of the tank. How? This is the total capacity. The total capacity of the tank is divided into 5 portions, and out of that, one portion is equal to 500 liters. So how do we find the total? Yeah, in order to find the total capacity, you have to multiply 500 liters by 5. That is going to give me how much? 2500 liters. Okay, I hope that was okay. So let us move on to the second part. Second part is about area of circle, and also it is related with perimeter also. Okay, circumference and all that. Okay, now going through the question, it says, okay, the given figure is a sketch of a gardening consisting of a rectangular part A, B, D, E, and a part, okay, let me just draw a rough diagram. So this is the diagram given. Okay, here you have a circular part, a sector. This part is circular, look, sector. Now this length is given as how much? Yeah, it is given as 14 centimeters. This length. Now this is 14 means now this is a sector. Now this, if you consider this as a sector, this is called as what? The radius. Therefore radius is also 14 centimeters. Was that clear? So let me mark all the points given. A, B, you have D here, E, and you have C here. Okay, the questions are not hard. Now this angle is also given 45 degrees. Okay, you just have to remember only two equations. That is what? Normally if you consider circle, you have two equations. One is pi r squared to find the total area of a circle, and 2 pi r if you need to find the total circumference of a circle. Now since this is a part of a circle, you have what? In front of this you have to state theta over 360 in front of both of these. Okay, now let us slowly move on to the first Roman number 1. So it says, find the area of the part BCD. You have to find the area. What is the equation? Theta over 360. Let me write at first, because since this is the first part, let me write theta over 360 into, yeah, since this is area, you have to take pi r squared. Pi is how much? I'll substitute 22 over 7, and radius is equal to 14 centimeters into 14 centimeters, r squared. Now you have to, yes, what is my theta? Theta is equal to 45. Now once you simplify, now you do the simplification part, I hope it will be easy. You have 45, so it will finally give you 77 meters squared. Now this area is equal to 77 meters squared. Okay, let us check the Roman number 2. What does the Roman number 2 says? Okay, before Roman number 2, they have given you a statement saying that the area of the part ABDE is 4 times the area of the part BCD. That means now this area you already know. Now you can find this area. This area is equal to 4 times the area of this. Now if this answer is wrong, that means further all your the calculations will be wrong, right? Because now see, there is a relationship between this area and this area. So if you get this wrong, all your calculations will be wrong. Therefore this is 77. Therefore area of ABDE is equal to, how do we find out? 77 meters squared into 4. Yes, they said 4, right? Yes, area of the 4 times. Therefore 77 into 4 will give you 308 meters squared. Okay, so you know this area, both the areas you know. So let us move on to the third part. Okay, second part. Okay, this is second part. So second part, still we have not come to the second part. Second part, it says find the length of AB. Now after finding this, you know this area, right? So you have to find the length of AB. How do you find? Yes, since you know this area, it is a rectangle. So 308 meters squared is equal to length into breadth. Length you don't know, let us say AB. AB into what is the breadth? Already given as 14 centimeters. So if you simplify, the value you get for AB is equal to 22 meters. Okay. And there is a small correction. All this should be in meters. Okay. In the book, in some of the book, it is printed as centimeters here, but the question says meters. Therefore, change everything to meters. Okay. So everything will be in meters. Okay. Now let us check the third question. Find the length of the arc DC. You have to find the, like the circumference, but a part of the arc. How do you find? You have to use this equation, but since this is a sector, you have to substitute this, replace this in front. That is theta over 360 into 2 into pi is 22 over 7 into r. Now once you simplify, radius is equal to 14. Once you simplify, the answer you will be getting is equal to 11 centimeters, 11 meters. Okay, clear? Okay, now this part is equal to 11 meters. Now what is the last final question? Find the perimeter of the garden. How do you find the perimeter? You have to add all the lengths. Now you know this length. In order to find the perimeter, what is AB? It is equal to 22 meters. So on the other side also you have 22 into 22, give me 44 meters, plus you have this length, that is equal to 14 meters. Also, what is my BC? That is also equal to 14 meters, right? Yes. Plus curved part, that is equal to 11 meters. So what is the total? You have a total of 83 meters perimeter. Okay, clear? Okay, shall we move on to the third one? Okay, moving on to the third question. What does the third question? It's about shares. Okay. First, it says Varuna, a person Varuna who owned 100 shares of a company A. Now, in a company, he is owning 100 shares. Now, at the beginning of a financial year, he sold 40 of these shares at 200 rupees per share. Now, during a certain year, he had owned, at first he had owned 100 shares. And from this, once start of a financial year, he is selling 40 shares from this company at a price how much? 210 rupees per share. Okay, so Roman number 1, it requires us to find the total amount Varuna received by selling 40 shares of a company. Isn't it easy? Yes. So you got to multiply how much is one share. It says 210. So you have to multiply 210 by altogether how many shares? He had owned 40 shares. Therefore, when you multiply, the answer you get is 8,400. Okay, I hope this part is clear. So next you have Roman number 2. What does Roman number 2 says? Okay, it says Varuna bought a certain number of shares of company B at 240 rupees per share at the beginning of the same financial year by investing the total amount he received by selling 40 shares of company. Now from company B is buying certain shares at what? What is the price of a share? 240. Now what is the amount he is investing? He is investing the amount he got here. It is 8,400. Yes. So he is investing the total amount he got here. So they are asking you to find the number of shares. Yes, how do you find? This is the total amount. So 8,400. You got to divide by 240. So once you divide, the number of shares you get is 35. So altogether, he owns 35 shares in the company B. I hope that is clear. Got it? Those are easy, okay? Now let us go on to the third one, Roman number 3. So, at the end of the financial year, company A paid 15 rupees per share, the company B paid 18 rupees per share as dividends. Now you have to find the total dividend he received from company A and B. You have to find the total dividend he gets from both the companies. For that, what should you do? First find the total from company A, and then find the total dividend he gets from company B, and then find the total at both. Okay, now from company A, for a share, how much is the dividend they pay? They have said 15 rupees per share. And in company A, how many shares did he own? Is it 100? No, he owned only 60, because first he owned 100 and out of that 40 he had already sold it. Therefore the balance he had is only 60. So you find the total here. 15 multiplied by 60 is going to give you how much? Yeah, 900. So in company B he is getting a dividend of how much? Yeah, 18. He's getting the dividend is more here. That is why he had sold some of the shares and bought shares in the company B. Okay. So altogether how many shares did he buy in the company B? 35. So once you multiply 18 into 35 is going to give you 630 rupees. Okay. Okay. I hope that is clear. Now you have to find the total. What was the total? Yeah, you have to find, they're asking you the total. Yeah, total dividend he gets. So 1530 once you add both. Okay. Okay. The last part. Find the additional dividend income he received at the end of the financial year due to selling 40 shares of the company A and buying shares of company B without keeping all the shares of company A with him. What is the idea of that? What are they saying? Now this person, he had already sold 40 shares from company A and bought for some shares in company B, right? Okay. Now what these people asking you is, now they're asking you, yes, you have to find, find the additional dividend. Now see, the reason he has bought from company B is that he gets more dividend. Okay. Now you can find the actual dividend this person would have got if he had not sold all these 40 shares at the first stage. Understand? The dividend this person should get if he had not sold the 40 shares. They are speaking about the 40 shares. So in company B, if he had owned 40 shares, okay, then from one share he'll be getting 15, no? And he had how much altogether? 40 shares. So what is the total you have here? 15 into 40 should give you 600. But all these 40 shares this person he had sold and then invested in the company B. He bought shares and finally from the company B he gets a dividend of 630. Now they're asking you, what is the extra dividend he gets? How much? Yeah, he's getting a extra dividend of 30 rupees. Understand? That is what they're asking you. Clear? Okay. Just have a look at the question. It looks easy. Okay. You just have to do few calculations only. Okay. Nothing about shares. You just have to divide. Calculations, multiplication is there, division, only the calculation is left. Okay. So shall we move on to the next part? Fourth, you have a pie chart. Okay. So they have given you a pie chart. Let me just draw it. So this, it says music, and a small part says for art, and you have a little bit larger part for dancing. Okay. Okay, now what are they saying? Each student in grade 6 of a certain school had to select exactly one of the three subjects. Okay. And then this is the way how it is shown in the diagram. The number of students who selected dancing is, the people who selected dancing is 3 times the number of students who selected art. Now let us call this as X. Okay, the number of students, they have not given in numbers. So let us call the number of students who selected art is X. So how much is dancing? They say 3 times, therefore it is equal to 3x. Also they are saying you further, and the number of students who selected music is 5 times the number of people who selected art. So this we called it this as x, therefore this is equal to 5 times of it, 5x. Okay, I hope that is clear. So Roman number 1, write the number of students who selected art as a fraction of the total number of students. Now since we had taken in x form, what is the total number of students? So you have to find the total. 5 plus 3 plus 1x here. Altogether how many x? 9x. Over the number of students. What are they speaking about? The number of students who selected arts. So art is equal to x. So once you simplify, you have 1 over 9. Clear? Okay, that's a small part. So the next part, they say calculate the magnitude of the angles of the centers of the sector corresponding to the three subjects and write them on the relevant dotted lines in the given pie chart. Okay, now how do you find? Have they given any information? No. Okay, how do you come to this question now? Okay, any idea? Okay, observe. Now altogether, now since we don't know in number, but we know it in algebraic term, the total number of students. How much is it? Yes, you know it, right? For art, the total number of students is x, and for music you have 5x, and dancing also you know that is equal to 3x. Okay, now what is the total angle equal to? The total angle in this circle is always equal to 360, no? So we can find what is this one single x is equal to. Thereby, if you know the value of 1x, then you can find the angle that is represented by music and dancing just by multiplying it by 5 and then multiplying it by 3. Isn't it easy? Yes. So what should you do? Yes, I'll go on with the same question. Total angle is 360. You have to divide by the total number of students. That is equal to how much? 9x, na? How much is it? Let's say 9. Okay, so 1, that is equal to 40. 1x represents 40 degrees. So can't you write arts? Okay, art is equal to x, just 1x. So it is equal to 40 degrees. How much is music? 40 into, you have to multiply by 5. That is going to give you 200, right? Music. And how much is dancing? 120. These are the angles. Okay. Okay. Let us check the third one. If the number of students who selected art is 30, find the total number of students in grade 6 of the school. Now they are asking you the total number of students in real number. But one information is given that if the total number of students who selected art is equal to 30. Okay, how do you write? Okay, the way of writing is this. You have to say it in your mind this way. Okay, always when writing this, always speak out. 30 students is represented by 40 degree means what is the total number of students represented by 360 degrees? Because 360 is the total angle. No? One information is given, 30 students represented by 40 degree means how much is represented by 360 degrees. Now once you simplify, you can simplify this, and then you should get it should be equal to 270. So what is the total number of students? It is equal to 270 students. Okay, that part was clear. Now let us move on to the next part, that is Roman number 4. So after 2 weeks, 15 of the students who had selected music changed their subject to art. Okay, what has happened now? 30 of the students who selected, the 15 of the students who selected music had changed their subject to art. This normally happens at school, right? Yeah. And then Roman number 4, they're asking you find the angle at the center of the sector corresponding to the subject art in a new pie chart consisting of all three subjects that is drawn based on the change data. Now you have to find the new value of the subject that belongs to new angle of arts. Okay, now already people have, they have changed their subject. Now observe, already an information was given as 30 students is represented by 40 degrees. Now, so how much is, now 15 students are changing their subject. So how much is 15 students represented? 15 students, they represent how many degrees? Half of this. How much is it? 20 degrees. Okay, now what should you do? Yes, now earlier for arts you had how much? Only 40 degrees. Now what has happened? 15 students, they have come to art. So 15 students means 20 degrees. So how much should you add to art? Yes, you should add, for art you should add altogether how much they had? 40 plus another 20, that is in total that is going to give you 60 degrees. That is the new angle for art. Okay, now even you can find the new angle for music as well. There is no change in dancing, no? There is no change in dancing, only the change you have is in music and art. So what is the new value for music? Already you had 200 degrees. Here you have already 200. From this, the students are leaving from music. That means you have to subtract how many students? 15 students. 15 students, in the sense you have to subtract 20 degrees. That is, the new degree will be 180 degrees. Okay, clear? Okay. And then the last part of part B, fifth question. It's about probability. Okay. What does the last question say? Okay, the diagram is given. That is, a box contains 5 bulbs which are identical in shape and size. Out of these, 2 bulbs burnt out bulbs and the rest are good bulbs. Now you have a box. Altogether, how many bulbs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bulbs are there. Out of these, 2 are burnt out. So I mark that 2 burnt. Okay. And what are they saying here? A bulb is drawn randomly from the box and examined, and without replacing this bulb, another bulb is drawn randomly from the box and examined. Now say, at first attempt, now see, this is inside a box. Now you don't look at it, you just put your hand and take a bulb. Say you get a burnt bulb. Say you get this bulb at first. Now you observe that, you mark it, keep it on a side. Do you replace it? Do you put it inside the bag? No, you don't replace it. Now what happens when you are doing it for the second time? Altogether, how many bulbs will be there? Yeah, now first you had 5 bulbs. In the second attempt, you will only have 4 bulbs. What is the reason? Because you have taken this burnout bulb and you are not going to replace it. Clear? You are not going to replace it. So total you will have 4 bulbs and only 1 burnt out bulb will be there in the second attempt. That is the theory you have to understand. Understand? The second attempt, since you are not replacing, each attempt one by one the number of bulbs will be decreasing. Okay, if you can understand that part, it will be easy. So Roman number 1, the diagram is using the symbol X represent the sample space of the experiment of drawing bulbs in the given grid. Now they have given a grid diagram, you have to fill it. Okay, the burnout bulbs are denoted by B1 and B2. This one B1, let's say B2, this is they call the good ones G1, no? G1, G2, G3. The diagram is also given. After the diagram is already drawn, you just have to fill the rest. So how do I fill? This is the first row, second row. Okay, say what are the things you have to fill? B1, B2, G1, G2 and G3. So here also you have the same thing. Okay, B1, B2, G1, G2 and G3. Okay, so they have not marked anything, only the lines are being given. Now how do you mark this? Observe. Now in the first attempt, if you get a B1, in the second attempt also will you get a B1, the same bulb? No, right? Therefore you cannot mark anything here. Understand? Now look at this B2. Say you got B2 in the first row. Okay, first row you got B2. Now what is this? Now okay, let me mark this point. What does this mean? This point means that you are getting B2 in the first row and B1 in the second row. Is that possible? Yes, you should definitely get different ones. In first and second row, you should get different ones. The only thing you should not mark is that the ones which you get the same values. That means B1 and B1 here, B2 and B2 here. Those columns should be ignored. Okay. Now the column is that this part, B1, B1. B2 and B2, and then you have G3, this part and this part. These parts should be ignored. All the other types should be marked. So let me mark it. 2, 3 here, 1 here, 1. You have 1 here, 1 here. I hope it is clear. Okay, so you have 1 here. So what else? 1 here, 1. These should not be marked. Also you have 1 here, 1 here. You have 1 here. Also this also should be marked. Now these lines should not be marked. What is the reason? Because now if you just consider one of the dots, say I consider this dot, this is B1 and B1. Can you get both B1 in the both rows? You can't. Now just consider this. Can you get G2 in both the atoms? Can't. Understand? So these should not be marked. Now I have marked it with dots now. You have to ignore all that and then just only mark these crosses. Okay. And then Roman number 2. Using this grid, you have to encircle the event of drawing at least one burnt out bulb and find its probability. At least one burnt out. Okay, which part will it come? If you consider the first atom, all this part are burnt out, no? So you can take all this part. Also, if you take the second atom, they are saying you at least one burnt out. Even you can have 2 or even at least 1. So if you consider this, you have to take all this part. Why? Yeah, because this column and this column, this row and this row, both depends on B1 and B2. So you have to consider all these events. So what is the probability? Total number of events. Total number, how many events are there altogether? Let us count. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and 10. How much? Yes, altogether you get 20. Total is 20. Out of that, how many have I circled now inside the box? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Na? Yes. Clear? Okay. So you can simplify. After simplifying, you will be getting 7 over 10. Okay. So let us move on to the third part. So they are extending the question. They say an incomplete tree diagram is used. Okay, they have shown it in a tree diagram. Complete the tree diagram by indicating the corresponding probabilities. A burnt out bulb is denoted by B and a good bulb is denoted by G. Okay, what is it? This is the first atom. Okay, this is the probability of getting a good one, a bad one. The first probability is given, right? 3 over 5. 3 over 5 is given. So this is the second row. So B burnt out, G burnt out, good ones. Okay, so that's all given. This is the first row, this is the second row. Now in the first row, good ones, how many are there altogether? 3 good ones, and total how much? 5. That is done. How many burnt outs are there? 2, and total how many are there? 5. Now when you go to the second row, now say you got G here, are you going to replace it? No. Therefore the total also will reduce by 1, and if it is about G, if it is a good one, the total number of good ones in the second row also will reduce by 1. Okay. Now here the total should be always 4. 4. Why? Already in the first row we have taken 1 outside. So always 4. Total is 4. Total is 4. Now here you have got a good one. So altogether how many bad ones are there? Has the bad one decreased? No. So altogether you have bad ones, that is equal to 2 over 4. Now you have in the first row, here G means you have taken a good one outside. Therefore total is 4, and how many good ones are there in the second row? Since you have taken 1 outside, good ones you have only 2. Clear? So here you have taken 1 bad one. So when you consider in the second atom, you have how many bad ones? Only 1. So here good ones. I hope you understand this. Okay, it's easy. So the next part, Roman number 4. Using the tree diagram, find the probability that exactly one of the 2 bulbs that are drawn in this experiment is burnt out. Exactly one is burnt out. This is the first row, second row. Now you have to select all the branches where you have only one burnt out. See, you can take this. Only this burnt out is there. Can you take this branch? Can't, because both are good ones. Can you take this branch? Can't, because there are 2 burnt outs. You cannot take 2. They clearly say that exactly one of the bulbs are burnt out. So you can take this. Okay. Now people have problems with this. How to simplify? What is the way of simplifying now? Observe. It will be very clear. When you move from the same branch, now it looks like consider a bigger tree. Okay, a big tree where you move on to the from a larger branch, you move on to the same branch, smaller branch. When you move from a larger branch to the same branch of a smaller part, you have to always multiply this and this. Okay? Therefore, now you are going to consider this. Now you have to multiply. Now when you move, what is the total you get here? Yeah, same branch, you have to multiply. So here you have to multiply 3 over 5 by 2 over 5, 2 over 4. Here also what is the value? 2 over 5 you multiply by 3 over 4. Now you have to find the total of this and this. Now people confuse. They think you have to add this and this. It is, yes, they think that you have to multiply. Okay, it is wrong. What you have to do is, since these are two different branches, you have to add the value you get here plus the value you get here. Understand? So you get, if you simplify this, you get 6 over 20. You have to add plus 6 over 20. That is going to give me how much? 12 over 20. Further simplifying will give you 6 over 10 and 3 over 5. Okay, 3 over 5. This is the final answer you get. Okay, just try out these questions. This paper looks very easy. Okay, you can score marks. Try all the paper. And thanks for watching. Share the videos. Thank you.